against Tennessee to give themselves a chance. Sidney Rice, Evan Moore, flood a section of the end zone with as many Seahawks as you can and give someone a chance.
Rice is 6'4", Moore is 6'6". They're all to the right. Tate's the lone receiver to the left. The Packers playing at the goal line as Wilson scrambles to keep it alive. The game's final play is a Wilson loft to the end zone, which is fought for by Tate with Jennings simultaneous. Who has it? Who they give it to? Touchdown! One guy goes up, touchdown. The other said no time. Has to be looked at because it's a score. Still have an official down there in the pile looking.
It's Russell Wilson.
They're fighting down at the bottom of the pile with Jennings still down there. Tate off the pile with the ball. We must have a definitive call. There was one touchdown signal. The Seahawks have won!
Previous play is under review.
You can't go to replay to determine who caught the ball. So that call has to be made on the field. You see the one guy go up touchdown and the other go timeout like it's a pick.
How does M.D. Jennings not get credit for the interception? I have no idea.
It looks like Jennings has the ball there. Let me bring in Jerry Austin. Very interesting. Seattle's in celebration mode here.
They go high. Jennings has the ball. He's bringing it in. When he gets to the ground, he's got it against his body, and Tate then pulls it away.
He's got two hands on it. The other one looked like it was a Jennings ball. But this official here, Jerry, goes up and signals touchdown. And see the other one going with that signal you would give for an interception, correct?
For a touchback, yes.
This is the most bizarre sequence you'll ever see at the end of the game. Well, let's watch the feet of Jennings. They're certainly inbounds. He had more of the ball as he comes down, and like you said, it's against his body.
Golden Tate gets away with one of the most blatant offensive pass interference calls I've ever seen. M.D. Jennings intercepts the pass, and Tate's walking out here as the player of the game. And unbelievable.
By rule, there must be an extra point try.
Aaron Rodgers is trying to figure out what's going on. The Packers are back on their sideline. The Seahawks have been moved back. They're now clearing the field.
Mike McCarthy's not going to believe this one. Watch Golden Tate push off. He's going to run down the field. He's going to push off and give himself a chance to play the ball. They rarely call OPI on the last play of the game. We've been saying that for years. But Tate is going to push off on Shields. And for the life of me, I don't know how M.D. Jennings doesn't have credit for an interception.
To me, it feels like a Jennings interception. And they're fighting with both hands on the ball. And Jerry, you say the ball's kind of pressed to the chest of Jennings.
Yes, it's Jennings has the ball in his arms to his chest. Now Tate has hands on the ball, but Jennings has the ball to his body. And it appears to me that that would be an interception.
Can you go? So here comes the referee now, who's looked at it under the hood. This is deciding who wins the game on this call.
Further review. The call on the field stands. Touchdown. Game is over.
Seahawks win in the most bizarre finish you'll ever see. You need to try an extra point. The game is not over. Rule the touchdown. They must try a conversion at extra point. And the Packers are saying, hey, go get out of here. We feel like we just got jobbed. We're not coming out for an extra point. Lisa's standing with Russell Wilson. So, Lisa, you go ahead first.
Russell, what happened on that last play?
Gains joint control. So if Jennings had it first, and then you have simultaneous possession, coming down to the ground with control would be the key factor there on if it's simultaneous possession or not. Now the Packers are coming back out, and they've brought 11 players out for this cosmetic-only extra point.
I've lost controversial games in the past, and controversy is one thing, but to me, this is another.
There was no time in the clock, so there's no kickoff after this. Potential for an onside kick. And the Packers are really doing a classy solid here by coming out even for this. I don't know if I could ask 11 of my guys to come out after you've been jobbed the way they have. And there is M.D. Jennings, who thought he had the game-winning play. And we're not taking anything away from Wilson or Tate or the effort they made.
Great effort
on that fourth down play.
And Russell Wilson, we all remember the Hail Mary that Michigan State dropped on Wisconsin, the heartbreak that he went through.
And now,
crazy game.
The game is over.
This will cause a stir in some houses, I tell you that.
"43 years of Monday nights, 92 years of the National Football League, and there have been some strange ones. But this one, right up there. The Seahawks are 2-1. The Packers are 1-2 and have one of the worst flights home ever. Final score in Seattle. Seahawks 14, Packers 12. With John Gruden and Lisa Salters, our entire ESPN crew, Mike Tirico saying goodnight from Seattle. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Don't worry, the conversation about this one has just begun. SportsCenter is next.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
This SportsCenter television.
Hi, how are you? What can you say except this is Scott Van Pelt. I am Linda Cohn. We're both shaking our heads. A lot to get to. It's unbelievable. I can't believe what I just saw.
You've been here a while. I've been here a while. You watch sports. You enjoy the spectacle of it all. But this is just a remarkable ending to Week 3 in the National Football League. And for more of the GMC postgame report, we get it right back to the men who called the game. Mike Tirico. Michael?
All right, Scott, Linda, thank you. John, I don't even know where to begin with this. Now, if you have the regular officials out there, that's a really hard call because they're going to have to decide definitively what happened. And to me, this whole thing starts to break down when one official comes in and says touchdown, and the other one's given the signal that would mean an interception. And now we have days of conversation about what happened.
Yeah, there's just too much at stake, and officials shouldn't be deciding the outcome of this game. And it wasn't just that play, it was a play that led up to it. But clearly, Russell Wilson does a great job scrambling. It's that type of play. Let your receivers disperse in the end zone. Golden Tate, forget about him pushing off clearly on Shields. M.D. Jennings intercepted that pass. And game over, Green Bay wins. I give Golden Tate credit in a pile of bodies scrambling until the end. There's the push off. There's the interception by Jennings. He's got the ball in his chest. What do you want me to say?
There's not much to say. It looked like Jennings had control first. Let me bring in Jerry Austin. You've been watching us on Monday nights. Jerry Austin, 27 years, an official in the NFL, referee for 2 Super Bowls. Take us through what you see on this play.
Well, as John said, on a jump ball, you pretty much just let everything go and who comes down with it. Now, Jennings has the ball. He comes to the ground, brings it to his chest. He's established possession, established control, then possession. He's on the ground with the ball. All Tate has is his arm in there on the ball. So it's going to belong to the player that has the ball at the end of the play. And to me, that appears to be Jennings.
Now, Jerry, let's keep this replay running and watch. The official over here who was at the pylon. He comes in and clearly signals touchdown as he looks in the pile. The other official working from the back, wearing number 84, comes in and gives what is normally the timeout signal. Would that indicate to you interception?
That would indicate to me that he's stopping the clock and he's going to give a touchdown signal, a touchback signal, because the ball is in the possession of the defense. You can see it right there. Jennings has the ball against his. All Tate has is an arm in there, and this official appears is going to stop the clock and give a touchback signal.
And they look right at each other, but don't confer. Now take me to the mechanics as you've worked with your crew, as Jerry joins us up here in the booth. If you have a situation where one official had something and the other official had something, don't they usually talk it out before somebody comes up with a definitive signal?
Well, I think as a white hat, you go down there and we're going to talk our way through it.
The referee, meaning the white hat.
The referee being the white hat. I'm going to go to those two officials and I'm going to let both of those officials tell me what they saw. If there's a difference of opinion, we're going to have to establish which one is more correct than the other.
And that's the referee's responsibility.
That's the referee's responsibility. If you can't come to a definitive decision, then you got to stay with the call on the field. And the call that came up first was a touchdown signal. I don't see how you could change that. Now, when they go to replay,
yes,
all replay can do is determine if the score is correct. They're both in the end zone, both with the ball. The ball never touches the ground. They cannot, in replay, determine who has possession of the ball.
It's great to have you here. Before I go back to Scott and Linda and then our folks here, as a Mike McCarthy, as a head coach in the NFL, we watch every game together on Sundays. All of us do. How are you feeling if you're Mike McCarthy right now and that just happened to your team?
You don't feel good, Mike. I mean, it's a terrible feeling. You can't explain it to your teammates, your fans. You still got to move on. Green Bay's got a tough road ahead of them schedule-wise. They already had to play a Thursday night game following a Sunday against the 49ers. This is wrong. I don't feel good about this.
The Packers have lost more games in the first 3 weeks than they did all of last year. They're 1-2. But the bigger issue, I think, once we get beyond this, is Seattle's 2-1, is going to be what's the impact on the lockout, and are there coaches or owners who call the commissioner, call the folks at the league office and say, we've got to get the regulars back, because you said when it costs somebody a game, it's going to change the feeling about it. As you think, you guys, it just cost the Packers a game. Send it back to Scott and Linda in Bristol. Guys?
Well done, gentlemen. Some great insight there, but it is really depressing to think about what could happen as this week moves along. But I don't think calls, Scott, are going to have to be made because they saw it for themselves.
Last week, following the Monday night game, Steve Young made the great point, the inelastic demand of the National Football League. We're watching. All of the folks out there, everyone's watching. So because of the inelastic demand, Steve suggested nothing would happen. How is it possible that the National Football League wouldn't feel some sort of an impetus to change what we just saw? How could these same referees be on the field for Thursday night's game when Baltimore plays Cleveland? We wonder that as we get it out to the men who will bring us the post game led by Stuart Scott. Gentlemen?
Walking it, don't ask me a question about the officials, all right? So we'll just cut to the chase right there. You want to talk about the game? I thought the offense didn't do our part in the first half. Should have adjusted plans earlier. I'll take responsibility for that. I thought our defense was outstanding through the night. You know, keeping them out of the end zone. Really kept us in the game. Special teams, I thought, played tough. Very hard to swallow.
Your vantage point, did it look like Tate came near that ball at the end?
I didn't see it. You know, it was in the far corner. Just, you know, saw the reaction like most people. But, you know, obviously the communication from our players was they had the ball. So, and I still haven't seen the replay of the play.
Who had the ball, Mike? Your players have...
I was told M.D. Jennings intercepted the ball.
Have you ever had to bring a team back out for a procedural thing like that?
I've never seen anything like that in all my years on football.
What do you do as a coach in that situation?
Tell them the truth, you know, and we need to move on. We talked about what I felt about the game, everything that happened in the game to the players, and it's important for us to get back and get ready for the Saints.
Is this as difficult a loss as you experienced?
Very unusual, yes. Most unusual football game that I think I've been a part of. I know it's been a wild weekend in the NFL, and I guess we're part of it now.
What did you see on the coach's challenge, Mike, that led you to believe that you could win that?
I saw it on a jumbotron. I went off my gut there. I thought it was a smart challenge either way because, you know, I was going to kick the field goal in that situation. And I thought it was worth the timeout, and I still had two challenges.
How was Seattle able to get some pressure on Aaron in that first half?
Seattle did an excellent job in the first half, particularly in the pass rush. You know, we knew they'd be on our edges a little bit, but we weren't kicking back and staying square enough, and frankly should have adjusted earlier. But they did a heck of a job. A lot of credit to Pete Carroll and his football team.
Mike, is that the most 2 and 3 tight ends?
I'm sorry?
In the second half, is that the most 2 and 3 tight ends that you've used in a while?
So far this year? So far this year.
In many years.
No. We use 3 tights and jumbo trios, what we call it. Yeah, we've used those personnel and formations before. Basic plays.
That's good. Mike, you said the offense didn't do its part in the first half. Were you pleased with the production in the second half?
I thought the offense was outstanding in the second half. Man, that's a tough place to play. And anybody that, I've been on the other side of that sideline in Kansas City, and they did a good job. The crowd was excellent. But I thought our football team responded very well coming out in the second half, especially with running the football there in the first series. So I was happy with the way we played in the second half.
Like, it's honorable to take the high road when something like this happens. Is there any positive in terms of motivation for your guys, how ticked off they are about how this played out? Any of that can be used in any positive way whatsoever?
I'm not in the mood for drama tonight, Jason. Okay, I appreciate that.
Last one. You want to run the ball the way you guys did in the second half with success. Was that in an attempt to kind of wear out that defense a little bit?
Well, we had to run the football definitely, and then, I thought Aaron was excellent on third downs, and we also had a couple no huddle situations, tempo plays that he did a good job of. We really felt that we were starting to wear their defense down, and frankly, the one regret I have is not going to that plan earlier. So, and with that, I'll take responsibility. I'm sorry. Tempo plays, just up tempo and running the football was the plan coming out in the second half.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Russell Wilson joins us here, 10 of 21, 130 yards.
What way?
Just look at the replay. And then the fact that it was reviewed was awful. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Looks like M.G. Jennings had the ball on his own.
Yep.
How frustrating it is for you guys to come in here and fight the way you guys did and come back in the second half. And
yeah, we shouldn't have been in that position. I mean, would have been nice not to have a kicking ball in that 2-point conversion to throw. But, yeah, I mean, still missed that one. But shouldn't have been in that position.
Is that what happened? They give you a kicking ball?
Pretty sure.
Has that ever happened to you before?
Yeah.
your team was just in there watching the replay on ESPN, and they were throwing towels at the TV screen. Pretty frustrated bunch back
Yeah, I mean, it sucks losing, and it's even worse when it goes that way. But we'll go home and get ready for New Orleans.
Aaron, what's that like to stand in the locker room and watch that unfold before your eyes again, though?
Yeah, it's frustrating. Just seemed there was no. It was crazy after the game. I mean, I saw Mike Silver on the field, and nobody had any idea what was going on. You know, it seemed like at first, from my vantage point, the referee in the back, I saw him wave his arms over his head, which means he was calling a touchback. No idea how the other guy said touchdown. Golden Tate on the replay obviously takes his arm off whatever part of the ball he may or may not have had, and then they reviewed it and it upheld. So.
Could you see any of the other officials whether they ruled
No.
the interception?
Good.
Did you see the push from behind?
On the replay, yeah.
Anything else, guys?
You think a game like this might help settle this thing?
I don't know.
Could you talk about the first half of the game?
Yeah, it was frustrating. I mean, couldn't get in a rhythm. Had moved the ball okay, and then had, 8 negative yardage plays there. So we did a better job in the second half and moved the ball better. Should have cashed in probably some more touchdowns and put our defense in a better situation because they played great.
Was the noise a factor in some of those?
Yeah, it was loud, but we knew that coming in, so that's no excuse for that.
Aaron, have you ever experienced a more bitter defeat?
No.
How long does this make the flight?
It's long already.
How long do you let yourself stay upset about something like this?
I'll probably be fine by the time tomorrow hits.
Have you ever seen such mass chaos in the NFL before? I mean, everybody's looking around like nobody knew what was going on.
No.
That's it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Aaron.
I'm going to read this again, guys. Rule 8, Section 1, Article 3, Item 5, simultaneous catch. If a pass is caught simultaneously by two eligible opponents and both players retain it, the ball belongs to the passers. It is not a simultaneous catch if a player gains control first and an opponent subsequently gains joint control. You look at the last play. First of all, let's just talk about this last play, and we'll make this a bigger issue in a second. How is that called a touchdown?
Listen, everybody in America has been watching it now for the last 20 minutes, right? And everybody sees it. We're not going to enlighten them on something different, except for the three of us. We're 10 yards from it.
We're standing right there.
And we all looked at each other and go, oh, it's not even close. I mean, it was an afterthought to us that it was interception. There was never even...
it seemed slow motion to me because I saw the referee come in and have some indecision, and I thought to myself, oh, no.
Yeah.
Both referees ran in and looked for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it because it's a disaster if you do it. And he did it. And I don't know how you can gain possession around your back around another guy. And look, this is...
Big picture.
We'll go to the bigger picture.
Yeah. Okay, and big picture, and let's go back. The three of us were sitting on the field in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We had this discussion about how this is affecting the game, how it's affecting people's appreciation of the game, and people's respect of the game. What now, guys?
What do you say?
Football, to me, the NFL had gained a revered place legitimately and rightfully amongst anybody, other leagues or any other professional sports or anywhere. It was revered for a reason. There's a gamble that was made to try to, labor negotiations to do this. And the gamble is obviously lost, but it loses even more than just, how they get settled with the real referees. This is now kind of the disaster, the ultimate disaster is a game was on the brink one way or another. And I think that they'll try to defend it, the call, simultaneous catch, but everybody senses it, that this is now affecting absolutely the competitive landscape of the NFL, and it brings it down to a level of other things that we see in sports that's not the revered state of the NFL that we grew and lived and breathed and experienced and built. And it's coming down. Now, not far, because this is like we talked about last week. It's still the NFL, but it's reducing it, and it's a problem. And now it's not only just a problem; it's an emergent situation, and I pray that an emergent result and a solution comes literally overnight, because it's affecting the NFL that we all love very much. And that's the bottom line.
And you get so frustrated with incompetence that it turns to anger, right? In life, we get frustrated with stuff and it turns to anger. And I'm angry because it insults, the NFL's insulted my intelligence. It's insulted your intelligence and yours. Everybody here, everybody watching the game, because they're trying to tell us it's not that big of a deal. Well, we have $1 billion machine. I mean, hundreds of billions of dollars machine. The NFL, multi, whatever, billions.
At least 50.
And we're letting this ruin it. It's tearing at the fabric of the game. And you don't hear Drew Brees, maybe the classiest guy in the NFL, come out and say what he said today, unless it's a colossal issue, a catastrophic type situation. You don't. Players have never tweeted and done stuff in rebellion to how angry they are until they experience
Well, here's what I say. For years, we heard about the competitive on-field competition was vital. It was the purity of the competition, the fair fight that the NFL built over a long period of time, and that we've all experienced. And the referees were pushed. Jerry Markbright, Red Cashin have pushed and pushed. The league has pushed referees to not be the reason why they get in the way of this great game, the greatest team game sport in the history of man, in my opinion. And it's been built to a place where it can't be marginalized, and I feel bad for these poor guys that come out of Division III. The game is so fast, so much faster than anything they've seen in their whole lifetime. It's impossible for them to get it right. Absolutely impossible. I thought the game was generally well refereed for what their experience is. It's just not possible. And so we've built something great, and we're not surrounding it with partners that feel the same way, that are competent to do the same job that everyone else has put their time and effort in over a long period of time over the years. And so now we're actually dragging it down. And look, nobody loves football more than me. No one loves the NFL more than me. You've got to be kidding me that I have to watch games turn one way or another on people that are not competently presented. The NFL is too good for this. And it's too big for this. And it's hard to watch.
And it's ironic because we said it last week, for 10 years, this commissioner's office has been coming into these NFL locker rooms saying we will do anything to protect the shield. Anything. We're going to go, and we'll exhaust every opportunity to protect this brand.
Every one of us were
It's ironic that you, the NFL, is what's screwing this brand up right now.
And what we're doing here is a microcosm of what everyone is going to be doing, and that is we're not even talking about the football game. We're not talking about Russell Wilson as a rookie winning this game. We're talking about...
Well, it's unfortunate. It is one of the great defensive efforts that I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
I actually love this game. This defensive effort by the Seattle Seahawks was one of the great maulings that I've ever seen. That includes the Ravens, that includes the Patriots, that includes everybody else. All-time 4 guys mauled the Packers. It was awesome.
The record books will show that Golden Tate caught his second touchdown pass from his quarterback, Russell Wilson. For the second time in the game, one 5'10" guy threw a touchdown pass to his 5'10" teammate. The record books won't even begin to explain the intrigue and absolute craziness of the ending of the game. Let's go back to our studios in Bristol.
Men, thank you very much. For more perspective now, Chris Mortensen joins us now live. And Mort, I'm following you on Twitter. You said it's been a long time since your phone's blown up. Players, coaches, etc. What type of reaction are you hearing from people around the league to what we just saw?
Well, it has been amazing. Things like total joke. How long is the league going to be in denial? I'm actually reading some of them. Some of them I can't say on air.
I bet you can't.
How close? This from a prominent player in the league. How are they close on negotiation with the refs? This has got to get done now. This is sad. It's the greatest game in the world being ruined by this. The league, I can't say that one either.
Mort, I'll just jump in here. We had Drew Brees on ESPN Radio on my show today, and he called it horrendous and an embarrassment. That was before what we saw happen tonight. Now, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, these are the biggest stages and the biggest sport in America. What just happened tonight, in your estimation, is it enough to get the gap bridged between these two sides?
I think they've had enough discussions and negotiations over the past week, and a lot of it, went under the radar. We now know that they had 16 hours of talks on Saturday and Sunday. That's encouraging. They had talks on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's encouraging. Roger Goodell, the commissioner, was involved in those talks. That's encouraging. What's discouraging is when you see the memo that Jeff Pash, the league's vice president and general counsel, who's part of the negotiation team for the NFL, sent a memo to chief executives and club presidents that reads really, and I think Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, might have said this, reads like a press release. It reads like okay, it's going in the hands of the media, and we'll have the regular officials read it, and so that's the negative part is, they had these talks undercover. And then all of a sudden there's this spin, there's this constant spin and manipulation of the media, I think. But at the same time, it takes two to make a deal. The NFL clearly says they're willing to make reasonable compromises on the economic issues if they can obtain an agreement on the operational reforms. Some of those reforms are interesting, and some people would probably agree with them. That Roger Goodell in the league wants to add an extra crew or maybe 21 extra officials to develop, to train, to get younger as they phase out older officials. I'm talking about the regular officials.
Okay.
And to even bench officials who have bad games. And that's one area where the regular officials seem to be